Well, fuck me sideways, ladies and gents. It's time for more degreelessness. I'm your host, 21st century digital boy and high-tech lowlife, Shanghai Pete. That's right, I'm still alive. Thanks so much for chilling with us tonight. I know it's been a little while since we uploaded a video. I do apologize sincerely. Holidays, work, just, it just got out of hand. Y'all know how it goes. Plus, there was an attempted insurrection over here in the US, and even worse, I ran out of weed for a few days earlier this month. Yes, it has been pretty crazy. I have a whole probably 30+ minute video wrap-up review of 2020 that I'm working on, but it was taking so long to get it done that this Resident Evil 8 shit popped up before I could finish it, and well, I just had to talk some shit about that. So here we are. We're still going to finish the main 2020 video though, hopefully have it up inside of a week from now, maybe a little less, but I knew I could bust out some quick Resident Evil shenanigans first, so let's do that. Now, when Resident Evil 4 came out the first time, I loved it, because it's a great game. I was traumatized at what had become of the survival horror zombie apocalypse Resident Evil that I had loved since childhood, but even still, I had a great time playing 4. So when we see the cavalcade of horror tropes that the newest Resident Evil 8 trailers have draped themselves in, I can't help but feel something similar. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. Except this time it's kind of different because anything that would have made Resident Evil to me, or probably a lot of you, long fucking gone as far as I can tell, and it ain't coming back. So I guess that's kind of the entire point of Resident Evil now, that it means so much different shit to so many people. So if Resident Evil now, this time, means witches, vampires, and werewolves, I guess that's cool. I like all that stuff. I'm on board. And if you're committed to a zombie-less Resident Evil game, I suppose it does make sense to base it on the best non-zombie game in the series, which is unequivocally 4, though 7 does come close. And that, it seems, is how we get Resident Evil 4 Part 2, otherwise known as Resident Evil 8. It's all here, boys. New merchant.
What are you buying?
New inventory management meta, new castle. And you know what? I think it looks pretty fucking awesome. It doesn't look like anything that I'd prefer a Resident Evil game to look like, though, and seems in this day and age that's something that we kind of just need to accept. It does, however, look like some FPS horror shit, and that's something I'm going to be into regardless of what series, IP, or brand you slap on the box. I mean, think about it. Just what the fuck does make something Resident Evil these days anyway? Ethan Winters? I mean, as unobjectionable as that character appears to be, he still just kind of got introduced in the last game and he's brand new. Okay, what about zombies? Well, obviously not. Survival horror? Sort of hit or miss with that one too. So what, is Resident Evil just a generic horror game series now? Or is it only Resident Evil if you can mention a character named Chris Redfield? Does it even matter? Seems like more and more these days the answer is no, and in the specific context of the Resident Evil franchise, it definitely doesn't. They've now successfully rebooted the series, like 3 times? And every time, just when you think they've ruined it for good, like the zombies they abandoned so many years ago, it comes right back to life. So, as weird as it is to say, if they want to do vampires and werewolves in first person this time, I mean, fuck it, go ahead. And in the end, really, if you think about it, whether or not something looks dope should probably almost always matter more than whatever brand is on the box. All that being said, though, make no mistake, this motherfucker looks a whole lot like Resident Evil 4. And I think that's fine. Don't fuck up shit that's been proven to work just to do something different. Resident Evil 6 could tell you an awful lot about that. All this obviously hasn't stopped media personalities and content creators from all over the internet from fighting their way to the front of the line just to be the first to slob at the corporate Capcom knob. From straight up embarrassing videos titled 6 Ways Resident Evil 8 Breaks the Rules. So edgy, so stunning, so brave, to bizarre fetishistic pandering videos titles like Big Vampire Lady Dominates Naive Gamer. Fucking weird, dude. I get it, I've seen all the Rule 34 for this chick already too, but yo, gross. Anyway, yeah, it seems like everyone's on board for Resident Evil 4's second outing, and that, of course, is why the People's Champion needs to ride in on the last reel to remind everyone to come back down to earth about this shit and temper their expectations, because trust, them expectations need some tempering. What am I, a pirate? Yeah, I did say that so far this looks cool. It looks cool. But I also said that Capcom has rebooted this franchise at least 3 times already, and their history shows absolutely no rhyme or reason behind which entries are good and which entries are so bad that they're practically unplayable. After all, these are the same guys that somehow made a good Resident Evil game without including any of the things that previously would have made up a Resident Evil game, and who simultaneously created an entirely new gameplay genre with the over-the-shoulder third-person combat, but then when asked to do it again, made arguably the worst game of the entire franchise, Resident Evil 5. So, come on now, let's bat that Capcom phallus out your mouth and remember who we're talking about here. Oh, but wait, there's a demo coming out, you say? Oh, it's out today. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's just a walking simulator / YouTube video that has nothing to do with the game and is actually serving as a demo for another demo that's supposedly coming out later on non-PS5 hardware. Oh, awesome. Hooray. Thank you, Capcom. You're so benevolent, such an incredible force for good in the gaming world. I almost forgot what a fucking pile of shit you usually are. The Resident Evil 3 remake would like a word with you about that, actually. And lastly, let's not forget the endless hysterical amusement of all these publishers continuing to release their games on both new consoles and last generation systems. Will anyone ever be pissed at Sony and Microsoft for conning them into buying new consoles without any exclusives? Or is it all cool now because the walking simulator demo that has nothing to do with the game is only available on PS5 for the moment? Y'all satisfied with your $500 purchase that you so bravely battled all the evil scalpers for? Was it worth it? I mean, whether or not this is more the fault of publishers like Capcom or the actual hardware manufacturers, Sony and Microsoft, I don't really know. And I also don't really care. The fact is, this sort of mass deception and ripping off of consumers wouldn't be possible without the involvement and complicity of both. So Sony, Microsoft, and definitely Capcom can all go suck a dick. Unless, of course, Resident Evil 4 Part 2 or Resident Evil 8 is actually dope, in which case then I'll download it for free on PC and still tell you to go fuck yourselves. Whew, what a fun little show for tonight. You know, just nice to get back in the saddle a little bit. Thanks so much for chilling, spending this little bit of your free time with us tonight. We love you today. We love you all the way. We'll be back soon with much more Degreelessness for you, including our recap of 2020, so please stay tuned. We hope you're all staying safe and that you've had a dope time during your holidays. In all seriousness, it's a fucking shit fest out there, so I advise y'all stay inside, keep your heads down. This fucking timeline is way too dark to be out there fucking around. Anyways, new year, same channel, so be sure you never subscribe to my bullshit because everything's quiet in the Nowhere House.